I'd like to thank all of you for being here today, especially those of you who knew that I'd be saying a few words. It's very touching that you still decided to come. Right, I'd like to start by laying down a couple of rules. Firstly, no heckling, please. And secondly, if you do have a mobile phone, please leave it switched on. Keep yourselves entertained. I think if you keep your spirits high and your expectations low, everyone will be happy. I would like to begin by asking Lee for asking me to be his best man. Nobody else could possibly stand here where I am right now and feel more proud and honoured than me to be able to represent Lee on this, the most important day of his life. And I'm sure that you will agree with me when I say what a perfect day it has been. I think that every man, and maybe even some women in the room, will agree with me when I say today is a sad, sad day for all of us, knowing that a woman like Sarah is now off the market. And Lee looks okay, doesn't he? He's tried his best. But I also think that every lady in the room will agree with me when I say that today has passed without barely a ripple. I asked Lee when he first knew he was in love with Sarah. He told me he was alongside what to get. I wanted to give Lee something he genuinely needed, but it's such a struggle how to figure out how to wrap a bath. I particularly would like to thank Susie Boo for making the cake. Esther for organising the reception. I understand it was her plotting and scheming that made Sarah's hen night so unforgettable. I would like to thank Anna for taking all the photos tonight. I would also like to thank Lee's mum Joan for providing little Lizzie with her beautiful dress. A special mention must go to the ladies, Melissa, Jan, Julia and Sarah, for making the stag night so memorable. I hope you've all seen the photos of the evening by now.
If not, see me.
Exactly. Harry and Eddie deserve great credit for looking immaculate and for being the perfect cake boys. I'm personally grateful to Eddie, who, after hearing about my uncanny ability to make a total harlot of everything I try my hand at, gamely offered to carry his mum's wedding ring for the service today. I think he deserves a special round of applause. So before I formally begin Lee's character assassination, I thought I'd better get a few words from Sarah. Unfortunately, I didn't think about this until 10 minutes ago. when she advised me the do's and the don'ts. She said, don't mention ex-girlfriends. Don't swear. Don't tell risque jokes. Don't tell lies. Do tell most positive stories about the groom. Oh. So, working with what little I've got left to work with, I've known Lee for around 20 years and shared some amazing experiences. Sometimes funny, sometimes sad, but most of the time downright bizarre. So when I started to think about what material I was going to say in my speech, I thought I had some great material to work with. However, on closer reflection of my memories, these stories are often about Lee playing the straight guy and standing as witness to the crazy things that have happened to me. I could talk about a holiday to Turkey when I was about to be left marooned on Cleopatra's Island as a result of my defiance against the oppressive draconian sand police. I was denied entry onto the boat back to the mainland. Forced to hide in bushland and foraging for nuts and berries. It was horrific. It really was. I managed to avoid capture, and the thoughts of a modern-day life as a Robinson Crusoe type figure were becoming a distinct possibility. It was the most terrifying hour of my life. Thankfully, I saw sense. I gave myself up to the authorities, showered off their precious sand before being allowed to board the ship for freedom. A big thanks must go to Lee, who totally ignored my plight and laughed his head off throughout my whole experience. Thank you, my friend. When I think of Lee, I see him as one of the great British eccentrics. His love of all things technical and his refusal to embrace modern fashion would make him the ideal choice to be the next Doctor Who. He could be the next Sylvester McCoy, although maybe that's not the most flattering of comparisons. But you do understand where I am coming from with that one. In fact, with Sarah, Darryl, Harry, Eddie, Elizabeth, and of course Lee himself, living under one roof, I believe he must have invented a TARDIS inside his house for all of them to live in.
Excuse me, I'm
Is she living there? Oh, and Stacey when she's living there, and the new one, and all the other children in Africa, and everybody else. Is that okay? Okay. He's a one-off. He's a deep thinker. And believe it or not, much cleverer than he looks. His love of dressing up for the Rocky Horror Show demonstrates his theatrical nature. That's his excuse and he's sticking to it. Lee's hyperactive. He's always the last one to go to bed and the first one to be up in the morning. On a canal barge holiday, Lee, true to form, was the last man standing into the early hours. Unbelievably, a few hours later, at around 7 a.m., with everyone else asleep, he took himself off for a short run. A mere 5 miles or so, before tidying up and making everyone else's breakfast. What a guy. Does he ever get a hangover? That's true. I've never seen him with one yet. Lee's a great athlete, a talented artist,
That's me doing that.
a computer genius, and genuinely a jack of all trades. But most importantly, he's a great friend. He's a confidant, a loving and worthy husband to Sarah, and a terrific father to Anna, Daryl, Harry, Eddie, Elizabeth, and will be to the new kid on the block. And all the other children in Africa. And I do hope they call the new one John Boy, as they remind me so much of the Walton. As the best man, I believe it is customary to offer a couple of words of wisdom that may make their marriage a smooth and unstressful thing of beauty. But, as a bachelor by choice, sometimes my own, but mostly the choice of the women I've dated, I am particularly unqualified to give advice on this subject. However, one thing I can say is, Lee, firstly, set the ground rules and establish who's boss. Then, do everything that Sarah says. One thing I would like to say to Lee is that women are meant to be loved, not necessarily understood. I certainly can testify to that one. Sincerely though, make the most of every minute of today and enjoy it to the max as only you two can. I know you'll be very happy together. You are made for each other, and I look forward to being part of your lives and you being part of my life for many years to come. I would like to propose a toast. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and raise your glasses to the bride and to the groom. There's more. Let's down. There's more. Finally, I would like to thank you all for your attention and must advise you that, for reasons of health and safety, none of you are able to get on top of chairs and tables during my standing ovation. Thank you.